Excellent. Oh, great. My light just unplugged. Okay. That's fantastic. Let's just up this one. You guys get dramatic lighting today. How about that? Okay. Oof. Okay. Sorry for being tardy. I have a standing desk. Hopefully let me know audio and visuals are good. And right before this, normally when I do my live streams, I like to raise my desk up, and because I like to stand when I'm doing lives. And so my desk wouldn't do it, so it didn't want to work properly. So normally you'd like raise the desk all the way down. It kind of resets the system, and then you put it back up. No big deal. So I lowered it all the way down to reset it, and it did not want to come back up. And it's like I'd have to sit on the floor in order for the desk to be usable at all. But yeah. Oh, do I have an echo? So anyway, the desk didn't want to come up, and I finally got it to come up. But it's weird. You probably can't realize this now because my camera is mounted on the wall. But my desk is absolutely lopsided right now. So I'm doing this live stream, and my desk, the back side of my desk is lower than the side, and so it's kind of like this. It's a little weird, but I'll fix it after the live stream. We're good to go. So again, sorry for being tardy. Sweet. All right. Beta 45. I'll probably make this. I'm gonna go over beta 45 really quick. I don't know. I tend to talk, so maybe it won't be a short one. I won't say it'll be a short one, but maybe it will be. We'll see. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let me bring up the notes for beta 45. And all right, here we go. There are no big new features in 45. Okay. A lot of nice little features and updates. Okay. So let's go ahead and go through those now. I'll just here. Actually, I'm gonna open up a new window, and we'll go into here, and I'll put my release notes on the other display here. Remind myself. All right. Sweet. So what we're gonna go into is I guess we'll start with the big one. Okay. So I did a lot of performance improvements, and a lot of it had to do with this web page right here. Okay. I purposely re-implemented this the old way. And if I load this page, let's see, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1. So almost 6 seconds from refreshing this page for it to load. Okay. Yeah, not acceptable in my opinion. Okay. Now the customer was happy. They thought the page loaded fast, but I wasn't happy. And so I went into the depths of Total CMS and found some really nice optimizations. Okay. And I'm gonna fix this web page live, and you're gonna see all the changes that I had to make to do that. Okay. So here is this project file. Okay. Now, here is this grid. Okay. So this is a if you're curious, this is a bento scroll grid. This right here. Okay. And I'm looping through my campsite collection, and I'm not going to go through everything, but we're going to focus on this stack right here. Okay. This is the new image stack. Well, it's the same. It's the old one, but I did revamp. I completely redid the image stack. Okay. I updated some stuff in the CMS, obviously to improve some stuff. But in order to leverage those changes and to make the image stack a little bit easier to use, we've updated the image stack. You'll notice that I did remove a lot of settings, okay, which I felt just made the stack feel confusing to use. Okay. So we've reduced the settings, reduced the number of features. A lot of those features are automatic now. Okay. There's one feature that isn't automatic that you lost. Okay. And that was the ability to add a link to this image, a custom link. Okay. That's easy enough to do though. Just use an link container stack. Okay. So if you want this to link to a custom URL, okay, and I'll tell you why. There is a way to get auto linking of images, and I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. Okay. That actually always existed, but that feature still exists. Okay, now. But if you wanted a link, all you do is go your favorite stack suite. I think Starter Pack has a link container as well, and you just drag that in there. Now you can have a link. Okay, and this even has even more features. Okay, so yeah, cleaned up the settings a bit. Now, in here, essentially, you give it the object ID. Okay, so this isn't anything new. This is the existing implementation. So we give it the object ID, and in this case, it's a variable. So I have this little variable thing hooked up. And then I'm loading from my campsites collection, and the property is image. Okay. I did also revamp the alt tag stuff. So if you, and I kept the ability to have a custom alt tag, and you can use Twig, but you need to use some, if you want to use Twig macros with raw text, you'd have to use this concatenation syntax here. Okay. Actually, let me put on I'm sorry, I didn't have this doodad here. Okay. So you guys can see, this is just standard Twig string concatenation. So this alt tag for this image is going to be campsite name space campsite in town, comma, country or county. Sorry. Right. So that is the alt tag there. Now, if I had turned this off, the alt tag that will be used is the alt tag saved within the image. Okay. And actually here, let's just go into that really quick so we can just, here, we'll get that over with so we can show you guys here. Okay. So if we go into an image, let's go into, it doesn't really matter which image. If we go into an image and we click on edit, you can have alt text here. Okay. And actually, if the alt text, if this doesn't have information, it will actually automatically then look in the exif info, and it will get the title. If the title isn't there, it will get the description. Okay, so it's going to try to automatically find information about this image for you. Again, it'll use alt text first. If there is nothing there, hopefully when you uploaded, the exif information was filled out, then that could potentially have title or description, and it'll use it from either of those locations. Okay. So that's how alt tag information is done for images. If you ever wanted to auto link to an image, so whenever you put an image on the page, just put a URL here, and image will then link to somewhere. Okay. It'll automatically link to that image, when you do that. So there we go. Okay. All right. So those are all the changes to the image stack. Now let's talk about performance. Let's get back to this grid and how we make it faster. So essentially, I'm not even going to go into the details on what happened. But instead of passing the ID, what we're going to do is I'm just going to pass the entire object of the image. Okay. So what I mean there is instead of passing just the ID, I'm going to pass, again, the entire object. So in this case, campsite. By doing that one little change, okay, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to republish this page right now. So remember, this took 5 to 6 seconds to load. Okay, and all I did is remove the .id from the image. That's it. Okay, so we're going to go File, Republish All Files. I like to republish all files because then it gets all the cache stuff done and whatnot. So we're going to republish all that. Okay. And on my other screen, I'm just going to push those changes up really quick. 1 second. Okay. and push. All right, so now twiddle my thumbs for a few seconds here. Okay, and changes should be live on my website already. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and reload this page. All right. Actually, now, okay, so that took a little bit. So now I'm going to click on this page. Boom, it's loaded. Like it less than a second. Like I'm clicking this. It's refreshing this page. It's not using. Yeah, it is. It is literally instant. Here, I will even do view, clear cache, and refresh. Boom. Like wow, that's just fast. Okay, like huge improvement. Oh, wonder what's going on there. Did I add a little padding or something? That's weird. Oh, it could be a cropping issue on that image. Oh, interesting. Okay. Wish I took note which one that was. Oh well, I can review the live stream and see. Okay. But anyway, so just by that one change, we've drastically improved the speed of this web page. Like, I think like 50x. Like, it's crazy. Okay. It went from me clicking and waiting. Okay. Here, I'm going to click away. And I'm going to go back into it. Boom. It's just there. Right? And not only is it just there, it's 200 images on this page there. Okay. So super impressive. Okay. Just by one simple change for you. Right. But yeah. So anyway, so now what this means is if you are loading images, essentially, now if you're loading an image from the image collection or a gallery from the gallery collection, essentially it's the same. You could just put in the ID and you're going to get the same performance. But if you already have something loaded, okay, so like I already have this campsite loaded on the page, so I'm just going to pass the entire object to the image stack. And that way the image stack can figure out what data it needs to build the page. Okay. Essentially, the details of this issue was, but when we were passing the ID, the image stack would then essentially go look up that object again. Okay. So for every single one of these images, it was, even though I already had the object loaded, it was going in and getting the object so that I can get more data for like the alt tag and the sizes and all that kind of stuff, right? But by passing the object, it's smart and it says, oh, hey, I don't need to go get the object because you gave it to me. Okay? If you want kind of a little bit more of the under the hood, what's going on. So by giving it the object, it doesn't need to go get it from the CMS. And that means it's faster, a lot faster. Okay? So super stoked about this. Really great update. It is backwards compatible. So all your existing sites should continue to work with campsite.id like you saw here. All I had to do was remove the .id and we're good to go. Okay. So there we go. That was a big one. And it works again, I think I'm loading a gallery somewhere. It works in galleries too. So yeah, so you just pass in the object, okay? This is the gallery launcher, but same concept. So yeah, so for gallery, you can do the same exact thing. If you already have the data loaded, just pass it to the image or gallery stacks, and that's going to drastically improve performance. Okay, perfect. All right. Hopefully, if there's any questions in the chat about that, just let me know. Happy to go over any of that again. Another thing I will open up a different project. I'm going to close this project now. Okay. Let me open up a different one. Just so we can show you some other improvements. So, in here, let's look at here, gallery image stack. Okay. In the gallery, a gallery image allows you to pull in an image from a gallery. Okay. And, there is a new feature, okay, that allows you to, in your version, there's a specify file. I've added in the next update. I'm actually going to ship another update today. I'll explain why in a little bit. You can choose file index, and you can just put in the number. So let's say I wanted to load in the third image from a gallery. Okay, you could do file index 3. You can also do specific file and also just say 3 for the file. Okay, and that will work. And what this will do is that will then load the third image from the gallery into this place, right? The gallery image stack pulls one image from the gallery. So that's what that whole point of this stack is. Okay. So if you're using a gallery loop, like this particular instance is using a loop gallery, using a gallery image stack is super easy because then you can just do current file in gallery loop, and that kind of loads everything really quick. Okay. So yeah, there we go. And the same thing here. In this case, I'm not loading in the object because this is coming from a gallery collection. But yeah, had this be used in an object like a blog post or a product or whatever other custom object you have, you could then load in that object here, and that would speed this up as well. So there we go. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to show how you can load in specific files from the from there. And if you want to do it from a macro, you can see it. Here's the macro for that as well. So you just do image gallery and then the ID or the object. Okay, if you want to use a variable, and then you just pass 3. Actually, you don't need the quotes. You can have the quotes or not have the quotes. Both work. Okay. So yeah, and then that will give you the third image. I do have to say there is. This currently does 1 for the first image, 2 for the second, 3 for the third. Before I ship an update today, I'm going to decide. There are some places in Total CMS that use 0-based array indexing, which means 0 is the first item. And this feature I implemented as 1-based index. So I need to make a decision whether or not I'm going to make this still be 1-based or 0-based array indexing. So essentially what that means is the first image, do you start at 0 or 1? Okay. Yeah, I need to make that decision. I'll do that before I ship today's update, so that it works with other things in the CMS, so it's uniform. Okay. I don't want to have some things use 0-based and some things use 1-based. I need to make sure I choose one and use it for everything. Okay. Okay, let's go into, we're going to dive into, I think that's all for the stacks, right? You could define, another thing or I will open up that other project. There's one other minor thing, but it could be useful, and I'll actually show you why I implemented it. So in this form, okay. I needed the ability to, well, here, let's show you. Okay. We're going to go to, okay. So on this page, I have a member lookup tool. Let's just go ahead and look. Let's look up someone that doesn't exist. Okay. I needed to pre-populate this select area with a drop-down. My account, unfortunately, only has one option, so it's locked in. There are certain accounts that have multiple potential options in here. Now, in this select, I wanted to be able to customize what's in there, right? So essentially, inside of a custom form, if you add a select field, you can actually supply custom options. Now you can supply custom options here. I will add in a select. So if you add in a select and you say add custom options, you can just type in your options here that you want. I went a little advanced inside this use case here. I won't dive into everything, but essentially up here at the top, I use Twig to build out what my custom selections are. And at that point, I then pass the variable down here. So then it does that. So yeah, anyway, you can add custom options now to a custom select box inside a custom form. Okay. Definitely edge case stuff there, but useful if you need that. Okay. Don't save. All right. Actually, we got some water. All right. Let's dive into the admin area now. Actually, let's use this admin area. Okay. Actually, I probably shouldn't. I'm not sure what emails or whatnot are in that data, so we're going to use something else. All right, we're going to go into my members collection. So let's say I have a member, okay? And obviously, members have email addresses, okay? Now, it would be nice if I had an ID. Now, here I have custom IDs. Now, these are very long IDs. You probably don't need something that long, right? Let's say you wanted the ID field to be like the auto incremental IDs, which are nice, okay? But you also wanted to make sure that you didn't have the same email address twice in your collection, right? So how can we make IDs? Now, the way we did this before is we used the email address as the autogen field for the IDs, right? Because then if you ever try to add a new email address, then yeah, the ID wouldn't work, okay? But it would be nice to be able to use the ID as an ID field and maybe have, using that OID field, options, which maybe I'll show that again so we can change this to be an OID. And then I wanted an email address, and I want to make sure that email address is unique. That wasn't possible before, but now it is. Okay. So let's go into my members collection, my members schema. Okay. And if we go into the email field, we're going to use, and there's been an option in here that I've never shown, and that is this extra schema definitions. And we will have our first option in here that is that I'm teaching you about, and that is unique true. Okay, so if you set the extra schema definitions to my mom's trying to call me. Go away. If you set extra schema definitions and you set unique to true, that will then ensure. And actually, while we're in here, let's go ahead and set autogen to be OID D-1234. All right, let's do that. So I've set email to be true or unique to be true, and let's show you what happens. So, and I set the ID instead of being that UUID, which actually I don't really like that much anymore. It's very long and ugly looking, but it's useful if you need something like that. So I'm glad we have it. We're going to go into members. Now my email address already exists, right? So we're going to go ahead and click on new member. Okay. You see I have a much prettier ID now. And then my email address. Let's go ahead and type in my email. Right. Now that email already existed in an account. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill out my name and let's go ahead and save. By the way, if you're curious what happens, 1Password does this. Drives me nuts. I need to file a bug with them. Okay. I need to put in a password. Okay, and I'm going to click save. Error. If you look down at the bottom here, it says email must be unique. The value Joe working already exists in this collection. So I'm now no longer able to create duplicate members based on email address. Pretty cool. Right, now, if I could just go ahead and say this is Joe Workman 3, okay, I can save, and voila, it saves. Okay, pretty slick. I like that. What's good about this is now your members can actually update their emails. Okay, and so like if I'm going to go ahead and let's say, oh, I want to change my email address, but that email already exists, it's not going to let me update my email. At least it shouldn't. There. Right. So yeah, super powerful feature actually. And you can use that on any field. Okay. So you can set any field in your schema to be unique of true. So if we go into members, again, let's show you what that is. Let's go to email, property info, and you can set unique to be true. Now you might be wondering, Joe, what else can I add to this? Well, if you go into our docs and we go to schema validation, there's actually a lot you can do here. Okay, so I documented other things you might want to do. So you can set minimum and maximum lengths. Okay, so let's say in your password field, you want to set a minimum length of 15. You can do that. Okay, so you can set minimum and maximum lengths. You can set a custom pattern. So you want to make sure that text content matches a particular pattern. Okay. Let's see. You can have minimum and maximum values if you have a number. Now we have min and max for in the settings. Those control the form number inputs. Okay. You can have multiples of. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here. And here's that unique items feature. Okay. So yeah, you can also make sure the value is a part of an enum. So basically, you could say, I want to make sure that the value is exactly draft, published, or archived. So there's a lot of really cool, more advanced features in here if you wanted to, make sure that item was unique. Okay. Pretty cool. Next thing, a small thing, but inside of SMTP settings. Okay. We now have a test SMTP configuration button. So you just, you can put in your email, send yourself a test. And that's over here. And voila, there's a test. Okay. Sweet. So small thing, but I think that's a nice, way to make sure your configuration's working. It's a pretty big one. Okay. It seems small, but I think it's going to make things drastically better. And that is with Deck. Deck is really cool. Okay. But, I never found it, at least I always felt something was off about the implementation, right? If you remember, prior to this update, the ID field was here. And yeah, you had to you could put in the ID here, but then if you opened it, you can then, type the ID in there as well. And then there was code that kept those in sync. And I don't know, I didn't like the ability to just see the ID here, right? Sometimes the IDs might not be useful. For example, here, the ID I just have this random unique ID, right? Because I don't really care about having specific IDs for this particular thing. So seeing that ID here isn't useful though, right? So what I added is the ability to have a custom label for each deck. And if you notice, it's not even a custom label you type here. It's based on the fields that are here. So in this case, I have this is a review. Joe Workman gave a 5-star review. And guess what? 5 stars from Joe Workman. Now, if you notice down here, it has an SVG, 5 stars from test user. And if we look at that, I have an SVG, test user, and my rating. And all of that automatically shows up dynamically in this label, which now makes it easy so I can know what each of these deck items are. And you can still drag and drop them, right? So how do we do that? This is all done in the schema for not the deck schema, but it's the schema for that contains this deck property. So in this case, I'm in the products collection. Okay, so let's go look at the products schema. So if we go look at the products schema, and we go look at this is my reviews deck item inside my product schema. Okay. And if we look at the settings here, we'll see that there is a new setting for deck called deck item label. Okay. And the syntax here mimics what we have with AutoGen. So it's the same exact thing that we do for the AutoGen field inside of ID. But now we can use that same exact syntax for deck item label. So it should be a familiar syntax where if you want to inject the fields inside, so here I have SVG space, the rating field, space stars from, and then the name. That is now my deck label. This is going to be a game changer for Deck. I think it's going to make it super useful. I think it makes it look better. Just to see a more human readable, label of what that particular deck item is. And also now when you click the plus button, it immediately opens up a new deck item. Okay. Before it would add it and then you had to click to open it. Okay. So yeah, just nice little refinements and workflows to deck item. Okay. Hopefully you like that. Super cool stuff. Next up is, I'm actually going to go to the admin area here. Okay. And we're going to go into collections. We're going to go into campsites. Okay. And let's say I'm in an object. Okay. Here's a campsite. And inside this object, let's say I'm like, you know what? I would like to view this page. I just made some changes. I just want to quickly go to this page for this object, right? So now, if we go into here, there's now a preview button. And if we click on that, it opens, oh shoot, I need to fix that. That link goes to the wrong URL. Darn it. Oh, that's a bug. I'll make sure I fix that today. Shoot. There it goes. Let's just pretend that I clicked on that and that wasn't broken. Actually, that probably would work on your site. I think that's a site configuration issue that I have. But I will look into that. So yeah, there we go. If you click on that preview action, okay, that will open up your object's web page in a new tab. Pretty game changer. I think that's super useful. Super, super useful. Next up is just general updates to the admin area. It should feel much faster, right? So just going to various views, clicking around, everything should just feel much zippier. Now, I do have to say, one reason I need to ship an update today is let's say you make a change to a schema and then you go look at the form page, there's actually a bug right now where that pages are cached for 5 minutes in a browser. So I need to make sure that doesn't happen so that the actual web page content in the admin area never, ever, ever gets cached, okay, by the browser. So yeah, I will, if you've been experiencing that this morning, like you did something, you're like, hey, what happened? I don't see it. I'll ship an update this afternoon because I know that's going to be a super annoying bug where, the browser was caching admin page content. Again, the CMS wasn't caching it. It wasn't part of the CMS cache. It was the browser. Okay. So, I need to override that to ensure that the browser never, ever caches an admin page. Okay. Super important there. Keyboard shortcut for that. You know what? I thought about a keyboard shortcut for that. I was thinking, Command P? I think Command P would make sense. What do you guys think? Command P to preview? I definitely thought about that. And so now that you request it, I think it would be kind of cool, right? So maybe I can squeeze that in today. Okay? Let me know in the chat. I think Command P would be a good one. Okay. Okay. So next, another option we have now is, let's go back to my member collection. All right. Prior, the password field, the placeholder text was used for both fields. Okay. Now we can have a custom placeholder for the second password field. All right. Let me show you how you can do that. Let's go into, I'm just going to go into the auth, or maybe let's go into the member schema. Oh, I'm importing it from auth. So we'll go into the auth schema and we'll look at the password field and we will see that now there is a confirm placeholder setting. The default for auth collections is now confirm password. So yeah, you can now have a custom placeholder for that. Chris says he hears everyone say Command P. Nice. Okay. So yeah, confirm placeholder, and that's obviously if you ever forget, that is inside the field settings. So confirm confirm placeholder. So it's under password fields, and confirm placeholders, confirm your password. There you go. Okay. Okay. Okay, and a couple nice things. I won't go through and illustrate them all for you. However, if we go into a schema now, okay, if you have, you know what, we have required fields, okay. I don't know if anyone's figured it out yet, but if you had an image is required or a gallery is required, they kind of didn't do anything. It just saved even if you didn't have an image. Okay, so if I were to, let's find one that has, I think products has an image. I have an image here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add image as required. Okay, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and let's add in another. I'm gonna add in a confirm checkbox. And we're going to make a checkbox and confirm this thing. Okay. We're going to say that. Oh, I need to do, yeah, that's fine. In order to make that confirm checkbox required, I have to save it first. And now I can go ahead in here and click on confirm. So right now I have image and confirm, which is a checkbox set to required. Okay. Prior to this, they didn't actually require anything. Okay. Same thing for gallery and file. Okay. So let's go into, this is products. We're going to go into products. We're going to just go into existing one. Okay. I'm going to try to save this. So two things. The image says, please upload an image, and this confirm checkbox is red. Okay, so now if I go ahead and confirm that and upload an image. Oh, oops, interesting. Let's see if I save that. I'll look into that. That could be. Oh, okay, that's weird. There could be a bug there. I'll look into that. Okay, something to look into. I won't do it now. I'm tempted to. Okay, but if you see image and confirm, if they're required, let's go ahead and make sure. I'm just gonna really quickly check if I remove the image, if it lets me upload it. Let's go into there, go into products, into here. It was this one I did, right? Yeah. So let's go into there, put an image. Oh, okay. Something for me to look into. Okay. So obviously that will be fixed. I'll make sure I ship that in today's update. Okay. Interesting one. Fun one. Okay. Curious. I'm sorry. I'm just going to play around a little bit for a second here. We're going to add image back. I'm going to save. If I go into products again, I go into this one. Now it's set to required. Can I upload? Okay, so I can replace an image, but if it's empty and it's required, I can't add a new one. Interesting. Okay. And apparently I have some sort of watermark turned on there. Okay, cool. Interesting. Let's see. Regard fields. Okay, I think that's about it for the for this update. Okay. Yeah, I think some really solid updates today, or for beta 45. Those performance upgrades are, I think, amazing. Okay, like super fast. There was a lot of other performance upgrades in terms of like, collection lookups and all kinds. I did a lot of general performance upgrades. This image one I feel was the most impactful, especially if you have image heavy web pages. Okay, so yeah, really cool stuff there. Let's see if there's any questions. Nope, I don't see any. So, yeah, I think we'll call it quits today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry about some of my my tardiness and my well, you can't see my lopsided desk, but I'm kind of like this, it feels like. So gonna have fun trying to fix that. That'll be interesting. So cool, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. See you on the community. Let me know if you have any issues. Please post it over there. Happy to help out. And we'll see you on the Hangout on Friday. Go forth and make your websites great. Bye.